If you're already there, thank you for joining us. We've got about 4 or 5 more minutes. We'll wait for everybody else, and then we'll see what happens today. Again, thank you for joining us. If you can hear me, let me know. I think we have about 3 minutes.
I do, and I have to do something that your baby daughter said to do. I'll be right back.
Okay. Again, if you're there, thank you for joining us. A little new adventure for us.
This in your pocket.
Thank you for joining us. We have a minute or so left, and we'll wait for some others to join us. Thank you for checking in. If the music's too loud, too soft, if I'm out of adjustment, whatever, just let Robin know. Robin's behind the camera. Or behind the phone. She says, hey. Just type her message if there's something we could do to improve it. And for those that know me, you notice I have my Coke with me.
Everything's perfect.
Perfect?
Yep.
I didn't wear my glasses, so.
Gotcha.
I think we better have 1 minute. Looks like we have a good crowd, so this is good. This is good.
You have apparently an OSU fan saying that your football picture should be OSU.
I have no problem with that. Send me one.
Someone's enjoying our Mozart as we wait. And I think it's 7 o'clock.
Very good. Somewhere anyway.
7 o'clock somewhere.
Well, welcome and thank you for joining us. You know, I hope each of you, your family, your loved ones, and even those that you don't love so much, I hope that they're all well and staying as safe as possible. These are trying and demanding times for all of us. And each of us needs to give the best that we have within us to the world today. You know, the coronavirus has challenged Rob and I and changed the way we deliver some of our messages. So we've decided to take Best You through Facebook and maybe deliver our Best You discussions via this format. So I would appreciate any comments, any feedback. Let us know how we can improve, because obviously we're unable to meet with the groups, businesses, and people like we've normally done. So again, I thank you for your patience. I thank you for being here, and I thank you for allowing Best You to come to you. One thing I would ask that you keep Robin in your minds as she goes about to the hospital and saves our lives, protects our lives while risking her own. The medical professionals are more in need of our best thoughts, our best energies. They are putting their lives on the lines, and they don't have, regardless of what the news reports tell you, they don't have the proper equipment they need. They're in very short supply. They're being asked to reuse equipment that a month or two ago they could easily use a new one each time. So please take care of the medical professionals in your community. You know, today's Best You discussion will focus on what founds our Best You, and it's called the authentic identity theory. The authentic identity theory stresses that you were born, three basic principles. You were born with inherent greatness, that the seeds of greatness are within you, and as we grow throughout the society, as we grow through our life, society tends to have us conform to the needs of society. And the third thing is achievement. So the three founding principles of the authentic identity theory is that you're born with inherent greatness. Society tries to get you to conform to their demands, and the only way to overcome those demands and live the best life possible is through achievement. These are frightening times we live in, and we need you. We need the best of you. I don't know about you, but I'm frightened. But I'm also hopeful. I'm hopeful that each of you will live the best life possible, and I ask each of you to give it your best. So it's time to pivot. I want you to hold tight to the words of Bernard Shaw that says, some men see things as they are and ask why. Others dream of things that never were and ask why not. Just like today, we have taken Best You discussion and bring it to you by Facebook. What can you bring? What can you offer? So, as I stated before, we're going to talk about the three principles of the authentic identity theory. And I ask you to indulge me with my clipboard. Those of you that know me personally know I want to make sure that I give each of you the best that I have. And so I use a clipboard as a reference point to keep me on track. And then, of course, Robin's behind the camera, and she'll make sure I behave.
Yes, I will.
We live in divided times. We really do. We have all these people with all these ideas, but what's important is that you hold on to you, that you understand who you are meant to be and utilize the seeds of greatness within you. Henry Ford reminds us that whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. A person lives a fuller and happier life if they will live as they were born to be. Again, the authentic identity theory is based upon your greatness. Each of us is born with a tremendous potential that's contained in our genome. Remember this, the graveyards are full of unused potential. The genome set is a set of chromosomes with all of our genes. The genome is a genetic material of each individual. It is the foundation of our childhood dreams, our personality, and our potential. It is the building foundation of humankind. Now, the first human genome sequence was published in 2001, so it's relatively new to humankind. The completion of the Human Genome Project sequencing effort was published in 2004. This research has led to new and significant information concerning the regulation of genetic expression. This is critical in our understanding of who we are. We are born with a DNA structure common to humankind. Humans have, are you ready? 3 billion DNA pairs. Each of us, all of us, were 99% genetically similar to each other. 99% similar to each other. There is less than 0.1% difference between the genome of individual humans. Less than 1% difference. That's the good news. Something you may want to know is that humans share 50% commonality of DNA with a banana. Our genetic material contains about 750 megabytes of data. So you ask, why is there a difference? If we're 99% similar, why are we different? With 1% less than difference genetically, why are we different? Think about that. We have the same genome set, 99%, but we're different. So the seeds of greatness in one person is there in all of us. The difference is society. At birth, a lifelong struggle begins almost immediately. A struggle between the individual fulfillment and conforming to societal demands. You have churches, you have schools, you have government, you have parents, you have grandparents, you have Boy Scout leaders, Girl Scout leaders. All these represent competing values. We expect our children to be individuals, but we boast of their uniqueness. We tell the world our kid is special. We have special children. And then we demand these special, unique, gifted children to fit into social expectations, to be like everyone else. We demand standardized testing, up-to-date fashion wear, and so many different elements. We expect the people who came to us as those unique people with inherent greatness to conform. Pinterest is a good example. And I'm not bashing Pinterest, so nobody get upset. But Pinterest is a great avenue by which people want to be like everybody else. Sameness is rewarded in our society, and uniqueness is often frowned upon. R. Buckminster Fuller once said that everyone is born a genius, but the process of living degeniuses them. Societal expectations degeniuses each of us. Society's mission is to standardize, socialize, and sterilize each of us in order to maintain stability and advance the causes of society. The mission of society is to advance itself. Now that's a noble cause. We want society to advance. But people often trade or minimize or adapt their authentic identity to fit into societal standards. The majority of people live a standardized, socialized, and sterilized version of themselves instead of that greatness that they were born with. The process that each of us must adhere to benefits society far more than it benefits the individual. You know, a great doctor became a surgeon in her country, and she became the National Society President of Surgeons. For this reason, a celebration was given in her honor. A lifelong friend came up to her and said, "You don't seem to be happy. You have achieved what people dream of achieving. You became one of the greatest surgeons in our country. You've received a reward rarely received by surgeons." I said, "What's wrong?" She said, "I'm not happy." And the friend replied, "Well, you gotta be joking. You're the best we have." And her reply was, "Yes, but I don't respect myself. I wanted to be a dancer, but my parents were against it. I listened to them. I was weak. I became a great surgeon." How many of us do that in our daily lives? How many of us become what we're told to be as opposed to being who we were born to be? And it's not that society's wrong. Their mission is to advance itself. Our mission is to live our inherent greatness. You know, I know many people living fabulous lives by society's standards, but they're not very happy. People have been brainwashed to live the lives that follow the rules of society as opposed to the laws of nature. What is natural is living as you were born to live. What is unnatural is becoming who you were told to become. We all face, each of us faces the obstacles of society, but the lucky ones, the smart ones, they learn to fit in to society by being themselves. That is our challenge today. You know, Warren Buffett, who's one of my heroes, has always done that. Warren Buffett is doing basically the same thing he did as a child. He learned to fit in by being different. Bill Gates is basically the same. He learned to fit in by being different. Abraham Lincoln remained true to Abraham Lincoln. George Washington, the founder of this great country, the leader of a nation, was always a soldier. The matter is which side he chose. These people learn to fit in and do great things. So understand that the life stories of great achievers, that's where you'll find the secret to lifelong happiness. They remain true to themselves and achieve greatness by building on the foundation, on their foundation, as opposed to attempting to capture the greatness of acquiring things. Always remember this: on the very last day of your life, at the moment of your very last breath, when that last breath is finished, everything you owned, everything you bought, everything you worked hard for by society's standards now belongs to someone else. What is remembered is you, your legacy. You know, for Freud, human character was determined by a complex genetic environmental forces. Society and the individual will often have competing values. So in your life, who is winning? The key to successful living is to fit into society by living as yourself. Epigenetics is one of the founding theories that we base our authentic identity theory on. Epigenetics is study of changes in organisms caused by the modification of gene expression. Your genetic expression is the difference between you and someone else. Epigenetics most often involves affecting gene activity and gene expression. What happens to you, what happens around you, those have a tremendous impact on you, your genetic expression, and your potential. Erickson's theory of the 8 stages of human development helps us understand why this is important. People develop, according to Erickson, in 8 basic stages. You have the infancy stage, which is from birth to 18 months. And then you have this toddler, early childhood stage, which is 18 months to 3 years. Then you have the preschooler, which is 3 to 5 years. Then you have the school-aged child, who is from 6 to 12 years. Then you have the adolescent from 12 to 18, the young adult from 18 to 35, the middle age from 35 to 65, and the late adult 65 till death. Those are Erickson's 8 stages of development. Now, why that's critical to you and your development is very simply, is your brain activity. From 0 to 2 years old, science shows us that the brain acts in a delta wave between 5.5 and 4 hertz. So your brain's at the slowest stage ever. And then from 2 to 6, the brain waves are from 4 to 8 hertz. It's called the theta wave. And then from 6 to 12, the child's brain operates on 8 to 12 hertz, and that's called the alpha wave. And from 12 to 35 hertz are operating for people 12. Now, the reason this is important, the lower the frequency of the brain wave places the individual, the child, in a more programmable state. And as such, you're more susceptible at an earlier age to the impact around you. That's when genetic expression happens the most frequently, during the lower brainwave cycles. Children observe fundamental behaviors and attitudes from the world around them. What a child hears about them, what they hear about their potential, what they see about the world around them, everything a child learns is defined as truth to the child. The lower the brainwave, the easier it is to program a child. Thank you for my Coca-Cola. This becomes hardwired as a pathway into the subconscious mind. Once programmed in the subconscious mind, these behaviors and attitude controls our biology and the rest of our lives. Now, we at Best You believe that a child's genetic makeup does not have to be their destiny. You can change your genetic expression by what's around you, what you think, what you believe. It is possible. And the third principle of the authentic identity theory is achievement. Achievement is the platform to build upon everything else. It reinforces and solidifies your purpose in life. Achievements must align with your authentic identity. There is a saying, success begets success. Winners continue winning. Once you win, you continue winning. It's that learned behavior pattern. Your genetic expression changes. Achievement is the best path to resurrect and connect with your authentic identity. Take agency of your conscious mind to overrule your subconscious mind. What was taught to you, what you learned, what you absorbed at a young age can be overcome as an adult through achievement. The only path out of the damaging socialization development in the subconscious mind is personal achievement, if that personal achievement connects with your authentic identity. Now, your authentic identity, very simply, is found as when you're a child. What did you enjoy as a child? What were your hobbies? What did you find interest in? Not what you were taught to like, but what did you naturally like to do. You are really the same person you were as a child. Achievement, regardless of how small, in a positive directions that serve your authentic purpose, will serve you best today. People don't change because we're hardwired for safety. The subconscious mind wants to be safe. Change is threatening. So whenever today you said, look, I really wanted to become an astronaut, or I really wanted to become a lawyer, the moment you make that into your conscious mind, your subconscious mind wants to override it because it's change, and change is not safe. The problem with that thought is what may be safe in the immediate may not be safe in the future. What is safe physically may not be safe mentally. I know a lot of people, and so do you, that are physically safe. They have plenty of food, they have plenty of shelter, but mentally they're not safe. Achievement, authentic achievement, requires a person to leave the comfort zone and put something at risk. Winners, successful people, people who live that happy life, learn to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. Comfort has really, in our society, become the enemy of happiness. Impossible. Many people say it's impossible, Harry, for me to live the life that I want to so I can be happy. But remember this, impossible is just a word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in a world that has been given to them rather than explore the power that they have to change it. Impossible is not a fact. It's an opinion. Impossible is potential. Impossible is temporary. Impossible is really nothing. Muhammad Ali quotes that everything has a purpose. It is a wise person who knows his purpose. I ask you to seek your purpose. You can find your purpose in your authentic identity. So to sum it up, in our Best You discussion today, you're born with the seeds of a unique greatness. This is your authentic identity. Society's mission is to perpetuate itself in the smoothest and most expedient manner possible. Societal institutions were not developed to ensure you live to your potential. That's your mission. Achievement is a platform upon which you build your life and your greatness. Never allow society to tell you what your greatness should look like. I have friends who live modestly, and I don't believe them to be of great worth. I have a friend who is one of the great artists in our country today, and I don't think he's a multimillionaire, but he's one of the happiest people I know because he's living authentically. I have friends who are former world champions, and I don't believe them to live in mansions or be worth millions, but they're happy. They're living authentically. I have a good friend who turned down stardom in the music business because she didn't want to give up control of her music or her life. She's not worth millions, and she doesn't live in a mansion, but she's happy and she's authentic. And I could list more, but these people are happy living as they were born to live. They have a purpose, they have a direction, and they're happy. Purpose in the right direction creates happiness. You will never find true happiness living a life you weren't meant to live. Your beliefs are the very essence of how you interact with the world, how you live your life, and the very vehicle in which you drive along this path of life. You know, gravity and electricity, they're not seen, but we believe in them. Why not believe in your inherent greatness? Now, let us answer some questions. The first question we have today is, how do you diminish our internal saboteurs? Well, I'll answer this by saying that not everybody has your best interest at heart. But in order to diminish your internal saboteurs, you need to know what they are. Spend time identifying who and what is trying to sabotage you. Know where they come from. Spend time identifying their source. Know the real purpose. What is the purpose of someone or something trying to sabotage you? You may find yourself in a situation where someone's trying to convince you to do something that you believe to be detrimental to your health, your fortune, your life. But they're not trying to sabotage you in their mind. They're trying to get you to join them. Identifying who and what and why is critical. Then I would say replace them and replace their goals in something or someone that helps fulfill your intent, your original purpose. Remember that the saboteurs of your life will disappear in the light of wisdom and knowledge. Another question we got today: how do you stay motivated during quarantine? First thing I'd say is breathe. Breathe. Learn how to breathe. Focus on your breathing and practice your breathing. And then listen to your breathing. And you say, well, why would I want to do that? Well, because as long as you can breathe, there is hope. And as long as there is hope, there's a better future. So I'd say learn how to breathe. And breathe. Practice it. Focus on it. Concentrate on it. While we're quarantined, nothing wrong with having a breathing practice, maybe 20 minutes a day. Then understand that this quarantine, this too will end. And the most important question at the end of the quarantine, who will you be? After this is all over, who will you be? So use to connect to that person you were as a child, because you were most authentic then. You didn't need $1 million to be happy then. Did you build on that foundation? Or did you trade it away for what was society promised you? Remember this, that all that glitters is not gold. Use this time that we have today in quarantine to prepare, for a better tomorrow, to live your potential. It's scary times, but it can be productive times. There are some of you that I would never get to discuss the best you with you if it wasn't for this quarantine. Next question: how do you combat feeling discouraged about your goals when the political, environmental, and health future is so seemingly in question right now? Hope. Hope. We've got to have hope. Speak your truth to power. And I said your truth. Speak your truth to power, whatever power that may be. Learn how to control the controllables. There are a lot of things we can't control. When you're talking about politics, environment, and health, I don't know as much as I'd like to about health, so I seek out those that know more than me. Politics, I do know a little bit about. Environment, I seek out people that know more than me. Listen to them. Listen to the people knowledgeable. And then try to make an impact. Control what you control. Most importantly, learn how to achieve in your own way. And I'll tell you, one of the best things you can do is make your bed every day. Every morning when you get up, make your bed. I didn't say make it perfectly. I just said make it bed. Make your bed. Reason being, at least at the start of the day, you've accomplished something. Never said achievement needs to be great and bold by the world standards. For many people, just making the bed is achievement. We don't allow ourselves to achieve, to our standards, enough in our society. So achieve. Achievement always brings a feeling of satisfaction. But the most important thing I can tell you to do to keep from feeling discouraged is to help others. Help others. The most important thing we can do in our country today is help others. And that could be from sending somebody a $20 gift card so they can go eat, have some food brought in, maybe going through a Starbucks if you're out, and tipping the barista an extra $5 rather than the $1 you normally give. Let people know they matter. Let people know you care, but help others. Next question, does our subconscious think negatively mostly? Well, that all depends on your programming. Remember, what some people see as negative may just be fact. Naturally, we're hardwired to seek safety, but that doesn't necessarily automatically mean negatively. But remember this, our brain is nothing more than a computer. There's an old computer adage, GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. So your brain only takes in information, but it remembers facts. It's our emotions that determine those facts as negative or positive. Gravity's a fact. Gravity is really a fact, but what makes it bad is when you fall off a roof. But normally gravity can be pretty good. Next question we have, can our subconscious be reprogrammed to think positively? Yes, that's easy. And I say it's easy because epigenetics proved it. Just before it was just theory. I've always believed it. I've used the theory of authentic identity, I've used it my entire life. And now we have science to back it up. Well, I would ask you is to listen to your own words. Your subconscious mind believes you more than anybody else. So when you hear a negative, repeat a positive 3 different times. Monitor your thoughts. When you hear something that's quote unquote awful or negative, how did you view it? Did you view it as a fact, or did you view it as a negative or positive? So monitor your thoughts. Understand the difference between facts and opinions. You may think something is terrible, but factually it's great. So how you view it is a fact or an opinion. And always remember this, we become what surrounds us. Who surrounds us? The environment around us determines us and how we live in our thoughts far more than we ever give credence to. If you surround yourself with champions, you'll be a champion. There's no other way to do so. Can repeating the same thing over and over again to yourself and aloud actually change your subconscious? Yes. I mentioned earlier, your subconscious mind drives you, but most of us don't understand that if we allow our conscious mind to take agency and control and rule over it, it will reprogram us. That's an easy one. But repetition is programming. I'll give you an example. A child, on average, is told no 400 times per day. 400 times per day that child is told no. So as they grow up, that's what they hear is no, you can't. No, you can't. No, you never will be. So think about it. In order to compensate for those 400 negatives or no's, we need to be telling ourselves and that child 1,200 yeses. Think of one of the greatest examples I use when in other talks is when an elementary school teacher grades a test. What do they grade? They check off and count the number wrong. That instantly tells the child to focus on what was wrong. We'd do far better if we focused on what is right. So yes, you can actually change your subconscious mind by speaking out loud good things. Scientifically, what would be the best way to stay happy? Stay tuned to your authentic identity. The majority of people I know today do not know who they are authentically. And your childhood will tell you that. What were your thoughts? What were your emotions? Who were you then? If you'll stay true and build upon who you were meant to be and make it stronger, bolder, and better, and then give it direction, because with purpose and direction, you find happiness. That's the best way to stay happy. And is this the last question, Robin?
I haven't asked for questions, so after you address that one, then I think you should ask for questions. And I've had a few comments, but no questions so far. So
Okay.
address that one, and if anyone has any other questions, shoot them our way, and I'll let you know.
Please ask questions if you have any more. The last question I have, unless you have some more, is does listening to subliminal messages while you sleep actually do anything? The answer is yes. But then it depends on a lot of things. Your brain always works. It never shuts down. If your brain shuts down, you die. Basically, you just die. So your brain's always working. It's a 24-hour computer. But what it works on all depends. And it depends on the value of what it hears. All night long, your brain will think about what transpired that day. So if you send messages to it, listening to the messages all night, and they really adhere to who you are authentically, it does have a lot of positive impact. So the answer is yes, it all depends. It all depends. If the brain automatically knows it's wrong, probably not. Or it has some higher need. You got to worry about, feeding the family tomorrow, and the messages are telling you to watch the football game. The hunger may override it. So yes, but it depends.
All right. Well, we have a couple of comments. I wanted to say Glenn loves you too, we too. And he's signing off. Talk soon, and thank you for your positive influence. Sue says, when we were talking earlier about the people we surround ourselves with,
Yes.
she says has a great point here, and that is why we must consciously choose those folks in our ring of fire. She called it like that.
I like that.
Raymond says, I've heard it put, you become the average of 7 people we spend the most time with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no, I don't see how you can disprove that.
And a little while back, Mary said, thanks, Harry. I appreciate the reminder and the lesson to be authentically me. We all need that reminder because we do get challenged, so to speak, from other people impressing their views on us. We do have a question from Raymond.
Yes.
He asks, how do we turn our authentic self into money? I ask this because I've always avoided having to deal in money as much as possible.
Money, I believe in the power of money. And here's why. Too often times in our culture, we're taught not to talk about money. Money is nothing more than means of exchange. I have been fortunate to be surrounded by some really fine and great people in my lifetime. Most of my success, I started to say all, but most of my success is due to the people who taught me. And one of the things that they've given me is their time. That's far more valuable than money. So when we're talking about how to change your greatness for money, it's very simple. Ask for it. The people that can give you the money in exchange for it, they will do so. But when you're following what your really purpose is, the people will open up. But you have to ask. Just as you would ask for a cup of sugar, ask for somebody for some advice. Money is no different. It's a means of exchange. Now that being said, if you have a particular business model or some way that you would like some personal advice on your personal needs, send me an email and we'll work on a business plan. Because that's what I do. If you have a greatness and it's inherent, you're designed to be successful. You just may have not come in contact with the right people to help you become successful, or you may have shined away from asking for money. There's nothing wrong with asking for money because it's just a means of exchange. Robin, does that help answer, you think?
Well, I think so, to a certain degree. And just, he asked because he's always avoided that. So 2 points, just to add quickly. It's easy to do that. Even with us, we avoid that. But right now it's a good time to say, if you wanted to donate anything toward our talk today, go ahead and hit up Venmo, if you're doing Venmo these days, at Robin-Shivery. We're not afraid to ask. There's a lot of time, investment, money gone into education and experience to get here. So, we're humbly asking, if you have gotten something out of today's discussion, shoot us a couple bucks on Venmo. Is that awkward? Heck yeah, that's awkward. But that's how people are exchanging ideas today. I am so grateful for the blend of reality and hope that Rona has brought us. And I am thinking that today is an example of that. So that's one facet of it, Raymond. And then the other thing would be, we both read a good book called How to Be a Badass with Money. And right this very second, the author's name is escaping me, but you might enjoy her approach. She has a very layperson approach, little humor mixed in, but some great ways to reprogram your mind, your brain, your thought about money. So I'd throw those two things out there from this side of the camera.
The other thing I will add, and that's very true, is that every year there's an auction to have lunch with Warren Buffett. Now, why would anybody want to spend an hour or two with Warren Buffett? Well, to learn what he has to learn. Last year's auction to spend with 1 hour to 2 hours with a lunch with Warren Buffett went for over $3 million. Do not be afraid to ask for what you've earned. If you've earned the right to be known as somebody really, really talented or really worth asking, the people who are asking your time should be willing to give you something in exchange for that time. Otherwise, what you have to offer really wasn't worth much to them. And if that's the case, why are you giving it to them? It's a means of exchange. In our country, our culture, we've been taught too often not to tell people of what we think we are worth. If you're worth the money, then you should ask. Now, if they can't afford it, then you're in a situation where you have to say, well, do I want to give it? And that's a different issue. But personally, if you'll send me an email, and I'll give you that in a minute, if you'll send me an email, I'll work with you on a business plan for your particular gift that you can give to people. That being said, are we about out of time? Okay.
We're right at 45 minutes, and I thought that was about where you were planning on
That's
going.
about where, but let me mention this.
Be sure and give that email.
I will.
We'll put it on your Facebook again after this.
Please know that anybody listening, that you send me an email and I'll help you for free. And when I think it's costing me more time than I want to spend, then I'll tell you how much it's going to cost you. There's a difference. I like giving advice and time of my time to help people. But when it starts costing me, then I pass the charge on. It's that simple. Or I'll ask what you can afford. But let me remind everybody right now, April 2nd at 7 p.m., Robin will be doing her yoga via the same platform. That's April 2nd, let me hold it up, April 2nd, 7 p.m. on her Facebook page. She'll be offering yoga. Now the next one is my email address is bestyouguru@yahoo.com. And the guru part, let me explain. I don't consider myself really a guru, but bestyou@yahoo was already taken, so I had to come up with something. So best you guru sounded, it rhymed, so we went with it. Do we have a website? Please check out our website at bestyouguru.com. We have all sorts of things on there that you can look at. We have friends that you can contact if you're interested in their business, because it's our way, and we don't charge them anything. We just put their business on there. It's under Best You Friends. And if you can use their services, please do so, because our world is about people helping people. And the last one is, if you think this is worth your time and you're able to, watching us today and you want us to continue, you can send some money through Venmo at Robin-Shivery, and we'll gladly accept it. All that being said, I thank you for tuning in today. Please send us any questions, any comments. Let us know what you think about this platform. Be honest with you, I like it better than meeting with business. I think I'm going to like it better than meeting with businesses or organizations or even special groups, because I can reach out to a lot more people, and people are not in that embarrassing stage of, well, how much is it? How much? You just pay us what you can afford. And if this is a really trying time, please don't offer anything. That's not our intent here. So to me, this is a lot more enjoyable, because I can reach people and teach them that you were given the seeds of greatness. They're inherent within you. If you want to monetize them, we can do that. There is a market for your gift. There is a market for your greatness. And oftentimes, we just avoid monetizing it, but we need to. We need to.
And again, as we were talking about earlier, a book that addresses that at such an introductory level, I'd say, was You Are a Badass with Money. And someone asked again about that book, so that's why I wanted to bring it up again. You Are a Badass with Money, but the author is Jen Cicero. I looked that up. She has some great pointers in that book. So take a listen to that, and then it'll probably give you more questions, and then hit Harry up with those emails, because from this side of the camera, I'll tell you, he does love to help. The money availability right now is not what's important, but he can help point you in the right direction to those of you that would like to offer something. We'll be able to. So use him, abuse him. He's home, he's bored, and he's helping you. He's not worried about me. So thanks, guys.
Okay. Well, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Any comments, any questions, please email me, text me, get a hold of us, and we'll see you next time. Don't forget, April 2nd, Robin's Yoga.
See you then. Namaste.
Namaste.